Man, I haven't been here in 1,000 years. About a year. And we're going to hear about why, but not completely. But I wanted to get ready for going out to do something with my family that I thought I would, I don't know, you know me, I like to talk while I'm doing it. So, doing my skincare and enjoying myself. And I, as usual, do not mind if anybody's there to talk. I am enjoying having myself to talk to. If that's ridiculous, then well, welcome to YouTube. YouTube's ridiculous, and it is a little bit sometimes. Actually, let's see if this is clean. I'm going to try to get some of the rest of this stuff out. I'm a consummate user of all products, so I'm literally trying to get it out with a thing so I can like put it on, But it might have that may not have been perfectly clean, so whatever. We'll use it as an underbase. I think that's the end of that product, actually. I like to use things to their bitter end if I can. And if I get somebody on here and it's just one of my children, I will kick you out. Okay? No, just stalking your mother on the internet. That's rude. But oh my God, there's a reason I've been gone for a year, and I'm not going to do one of those apology things. I'm going to do one of those real things, which is people disappear because they're being crushed. People disappear because the system is making it really bad. And even though that's bad for everybody, which it is, it's also true that some people are being crushed because of other people who do not want their truth to be heard. So they will take you down. I am not speaking as I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Not even a little bit. In fact, I'm the opposite. I mean, when there is active harm being done by somebody, and some of the work of that gets done through misdiagnosis. I was misprescribed medications of certain classes, not a single medication. That's why it wasn't caught. But it is still the job of the practitioner, not of the person who is dying, to catch that their polypharmacy is hurting someone. They did not, and they blamed it on me. And now, downstream of everything else is being blamed. And wild allegations. When I was laid off, I realized, if I don't explain about my disability, we've been told to sort of keep it down low, but if I don't explain about it, they're just going to fill in the gaps with my incompetency. And guess what? That's what they did. And now, while I am recovering from a polypharmacy misprescribing, and all the evidence shows that I am now completely competent and have always been underneath, but was ill, and this is not my fault. I did not take anything incorrectly, ever. I took my prescription meds exactly the way I was supposed to. I've never abused a single medication ever. Since 14, why would I? I was barely able to function on the right prescriptions. Why would I take something else that might screw it up? I never partied, never dated, never did any of those things when I was young, because I was always a spoonie, always chronically ill. And therefore, one of the only things I ever went to was a conference in junior high or whatever, was a conference for spoonies in Toronto. I flew there and went to a chronic fatigue conference. What kid does that unless... And now here I am 30 years ago talking about misdiagnosis, literally on a channel. And what has happened in the record? Misdiagnosis. And others have taken that incorrect estimation, the opinion of people about oh, see, she's having all kinds of the things that happen because of the medication, the symptoms of misprescribing. And they've turned it into, see, she be crazy. I remember the first time I was told that it must be a mental health illness and not a chronic illness. But here's the thing. Point one, even if it was, mental health illnesses are all in your head, just the same way that my prescription contacts are all in my head, and you do not want to drive with me when I am blind. Doesn't make it, the act of it being in my head does not make it not real. My migraines are in my head. My inner ear disturbances are all in my head, or almost all in my head, My cavity hasn't been taken care of for a year because I've been so ill. That's all in my head. I believe that cavity is all inside my head. We don't do that. And we certainly should not do that if we are an officer of an organization. I don't mean, like if we are specifically meant to be examining something and taking care of it and helping and whatever, our job is to not speculate. Our job is to find evidence. And I have had some of the grossest speculation I've ever heard happen against me. And I can't speak about it here. I'm not going to. I can only say that much. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to edit out of here because I don't have a lawyer, because I have used my life savings defending myself already. And what they don't say is that it doesn't take a little while. It takes a very, very, very long while. So one day I'll come on here and I'll tell you all the rest. It'll be fun. Plan to. I hope one day it's a dang book, because people need to hear. But today what I'll do is run a safer stream of getting ready with me, and nobody will join because, my channel won't get served to anybody. I only have a few subscribers and I only have whatever, but I'm going to check in. Little Miss, one of the nurses, doctors, whatever. Oh, she's a doctor, actually. It's a surgeon. I'm like, she uses the tag Misdiagnosis or Little Misdiagnosis. I think I'm going to see if I can see if she'd actually listen or whatever. But right now I don't have time. Right now I just hope that this is somewhere on the internet for later. One or two people see it and go, oh my God, that's real. People are gaslighting me. They actually are. They come up first. They protect themselves by saying things like, and they're filling in their misunderstanding of what illness looks like over days and over time with wild speculation about you. And that is not just unfair, it's dangerous. Because those one person's wild speculation becoming a conclusion can destroy your world. And it is threatening to right now. I've been ill, medicated incorrectly for a year. The original prescribing doctor thought it was psychological. Yes, it was, because he caused it. He's the one that gave and enforced the prescriptions and didn't see, because this is not a medical effect that occurs in people. Under the age of 60, everything happens to somebody. There's kids who have dementia. Stop it. Yes. Is it as likely? No. When someone says it's something else, you have the duty, the obligation to first do no harm. There are organizations out there that are actively doing harm, and I don't say that lightly. In fact, I say that the opposite of lightly. I say that with evidence. I say that with concern. I say that with absolute, abject terror that means that this has happened worse to other families. Because even if I can barely defend myself, I at least have a bunch of degrees to defend myself. I am disgusted by the ability of grown adults to levy insults of misdiagnosis, of making it up at children who are suffering. And that is even more disgusting when those people are in a position of education, protection, understanding, support, counseling. And that tells me that if they can levy that accusation against an advocate as specifically one of praxis from me, a practice that you do over time becomes a praxis, like your yoga practice that you then do all the time. You've become somebody who wakes up and does this in the morning. That is your praxis. I say this not because I'm better than other people, but just because I know my ability to write and speak. If they can do this to me and make up wild accusations that are in a void but repeat amongst themselves, all the people who believe this speculation then start to support each other. What about the families that can't speak up? What about the families who don't have the time and energy to speak up? I made a monumental effort this week. I wrote someone who was a professor before I was laid off, as someone who has written and published. Like, I have privilege and luck going on there. Yeah, I have hard work, but I also have just like the privilege of who I am and my brain and my degree and my money and like previous money, that kind of thing. Like, but in the world. I wrote 300 pages. 300 pages in 1 week. I laid in bed and didn't get to any physio, didn't have any massage, didn't have any walking, didn't have any swimming. I laid in bed and wrote 300 pages to support the evidence and correct the record. And if it does not do what I can do, then no one can do it. No one. Not because I'm special, better than other people. The opposite, because I'm just some idiot who can write and talk. And when I couldn't speak up, other people spawned hate against me and against the world, against the children. That's what they came up with as a premise, rather than, hey, maybe the most likely thing is that these people are sick. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that we have a world still where the first premise is that these people are evil or making up things, rather than they are ill. You don't know what illness looks like, then you shouldn't be examining it. If you do not know what negative actors against people is, then you shouldn't be examining it. But as much as I'm annoyed, I also think to myself, at least I can speak up now. And I believe that the difference the change in who I am from when I was very medically ill will itself be the evidence. Should have put on primer on my lips, they're dry. Means I need to wear something moisturizing today. I'm so very frustrated. Very, very frustrated that the system has decided that the simplest screening of Occam's razor is not a disability. And that in this day and age, with how serious it actually is, factitious disorder, so-called Munchausen by proxy, is one of the most horrifying things that someone can do to someone. And it needs to be examined very closely when it does occur, as is evidenced by many of the famous cases out there. But leveling it as an accusation against someone who's more likely to actually have a disability, and you didn't actually look at the evidence, is equally horrifying. I have spent my entire life being told that what I have is likely factitious disorder. I made it up. I have several misdiagnoses, even at ERs, that say I have specific seizures and that I have conversion disorder, neither of which is correct. One is PTSD and one is this polypharmacy. How do you correct it? Do you know how much work it is to find a clinical pharmacologist? There are 3, I believe, in my province of 7 or 8 million. I don't know how many. There's 10 million people in Ontario, equivalent of a state with 10 million, right? We're not a huge compared to the US, but think about that. You know, when province is equivalent to a state, and ish, you know, just in sort of level of government, and and there's about 10 million people or something, just to the first order of magnitude. And I'm being told I have to find a clinical pharmacologist to undo this, to undo what those who were supposed to educate, take care of, and protect children, they have done the opposite. They have made our lives a living hell. And I am now called. I don't believe callings come from the outside. I believe they come from down deep in yourself. I am now called to speak up. I first have to speak up on paper. So right now I have to, not vague book, but, you know, I have to YouTube speak. I don't want to. And I might not. As soon as I can get a little bit of counsel on this. But I am going today for lunch, but on Wednesday or something, I don't know what day it is, but like in the middle of the week, I am going to begin to try to set the record right. And what the people who have accused me of things don't know is that I don't just change it. If I'm accused of something, I don't just go far enough that I get myself and my record reorganized. You know me. I will continue. I will continue. I am called to continue setting the record correct. I will do so for as long, as hard, and as much as is needed. Because this happened to me. I cannot imagine what it was like. Oh, no, wait. I can imagine what it was like for another damn family who couldn't speak up like I can now. The idea that someone who has spent, no, not even that one, but the idea that the most likely thing before you examine it is factitious disorder, that really happens. And there are specific clinical signs. But the people throwing that accusation were not the 1, 2, 3, 4 psychiatrists. Because I am guilty until proven innocent. That is how disability works. How disgusting. That's what's disgusting. Stop it. Stop it, all of you. You're all just talking into your own void. I used to do dots on my face of the concealer because it was always, that's what you saw in videos. I've now realized, wait, I've always put my foundation on my hand. Why am I not putting my concealer in my hand so that it gets a nice smooth base and goes exactly where it's supposed to and is spread out in the brushes? I'm like, yeah, right. Don't do that. Not where the thin nose is, but in the nose. I'm just doing this to feel nice at a brunch, technically, I guess. Lunch, brunch, whatever. Munch. Just some nice. I just like makeup for the painting. The painting alone, I'm just painting. I don't do acrylics anymore. This is like the worst angle. Here, take a screenshot of that. If you're going to pick and choose. Oh, wait, that would be cherry picking. Yep. That's what I'm dealing with, is cherry picking here. Stop with the cherry picking. Stop with the cherry picking. So I am bringing a record of 300 pages to the thing I gotta do. 300. And that is only the beginning of what I'm doing. And I have asked the people at that meeting to see that if someone has to come with 300 pages to defend themselves, then everybody is more likely to have failed than that person has gone off the way. If they take that as evidence of, actually, she's so nuts that then we're doomed. And we might be. I might be doomed. I don't know if these people will see the right thing. I don't know if the people at the meeting will take that as what I hope they'll take it as. I could be wrong. And they still don't see it. But at what point does receipts, as they say on YouTube? When I'll bring receipts. That's what I mean by evidence, like my information. When does that become? When do they look and go, wait a minute, there could be a problem here? Oops, I hit my lower lid. Oh no, I did the thing where I got it. Okay, this is how we correct a mistake. We just do that. Let me take the brush back. Any painting mistake can be corrected, and you just get the brush and a little more. Yeah, it's on the brush, but you can whack out a little from there. I'm sure. Yeah. Put powder. I'm doing things in the wrong order. Does it matter? No. because makeup is as makeup does. Makeup is here to be fun. I'm doing it because it just like, it's an expression of me I like. I'm like, look at my eyes. I can make them shape like they're hooded eyes. So my liner is not really about my eye. It's about, making a little bit of darkness there and then bringing this up. This is where I put it. It's up here. Because you know what? If we curve this, then I get this beautiful shadow. Okay? I don't wear wings. I wear a beautiful shadow because that's the shape of my eyes. That's me in there. Look at that. Look at that. See? My eyes are in there. And they open up and they sparkle. And that's for me. Don't ever wear makeup for somebody else. I mean, not ever. I just mean like, start with you. And then a little bit of powder just to set all that creamy things and trying to do things. I'll open that up here. If you have hooded eyes, you can't use your lid as much as you use, like you're working from the lid, but you're working out really to this. And to the upper brow bone, sorry, the lower brow bone. And then the brow, I have really thick eyebrows, so I'm lucky enough that I can pluck the bottom bit. I can wax that at the, along the underline and get a little bit of space back from my hooded eyes. And if you look pictures of me when I'm young, I have very, very thick. It's my medication alarm. Good. You can join me for taking medication at 9 a.m. Yay! Which I shall do. Because we're going in a little bit and I got to wake up these monsters as soon as I'm going to do that in a little bit. That's what I'll do. I'm going to put a little bit of copper on. Feeling like a copper moment today. It's a little bronzier than copper. This is my favorite palette of all. It's Camel from Natasha Denona. I bought it used, but unused, if that makes sense. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is is this the alloy, but I'm using it, put things, I can't remember. No, I think I may have used this palette, but I put the things in it. I may have I moved it around. This is actually the Camel palette. Camel, like with humps. It's a safari. It's a olive kitties, girlies or boysies or palsies dream because it's got that little bit of grungy green without being like grungy. It just looks like brown on me because I'm olive skinned and no one catches that you're olive. Olive is a real thing. It really exists. Yes, you do have blue and green in you. Yep. It's an overtone. It's not an undertone. It can be on the surface, but like I have blue and green and purple and, a giant bruise where they put in an IV when I went to the hospital again because I collapsed musculoskeletally. Oh, but that's not real, right? Because it wasn't on a blood test, therefore it's not happening. And I'm like, no, I was so weak that I couldn't lift my muscles anymore. If I was in a marathon and I had that problem, people wouldn't go, oh, well, your blood is fine. They'd go, man, you just ran a marathon. What do we think? I mean, I'm looking at the camera, but I get you just a little, not being, I'm just doing this so I can feel like myself this morning. I mean, myself would be a year back without being yelled at about everything, without people being horrible to me about this, without people trying to hide the bad things they've done. I would be way back somewhere else. But that's not how life works. The accident, the storm, the war, you wake up the next day and it's still happening, isn't it? You cannot get free because you wish to. If you are Iranian today, my deepest grief. Because regardless of the surface fascists on both sides, there are people, regular, lovely people, who woke up this morning with a war and could not make it stop. No matter how much they tried. Oh, well, but if you speak up, it'll go away. No, it doesn't. Where do you get those resources? If you're the person with the disability, you are already doing triple time. as I've said many times before, the concept of triple time, the fact that as somebody disabled, you have to do the planning of thinking, I have to do this different than other people. And then the time you need in the morning to like put on braces or deal with your IBS or take all the medications. And then there's the extra time you do at the actual thing. It takes you longer to walk, or it takes you longer to find food, or you have to make the plan. And what is the defining factor of somebody with a disability? They need more time. And in fact, they have time taken away from them. So it required a monumental effort of a week in bed and 300 pages before anything happened. And it still hasn't happened, and I don't know if it will work. But I'm speaking up, and I'm speaking up a little bit here so that I can turn these into chats, so that live people can come back eventually, so that things can occur. I'll have to comb that out to get it working, but hey, I'll style it somehow. But great hair. There's great hair on me. If I do have a comb in here. No. Huh. Don't have hair stuff here. But let's just get it working. There. I turned 50 this year. 50. They say life starts at 50. Well, guess what? I'm starting life again. I'm fixing what other people broke. And I'm going to come on here and support other people. The cost of misdiagnosis this year was 1.5 years of my life lost and my children's childhoods ripped apart. It was moving for the 3rd or 4th time. And yeah, it happened to an intelligent woman who, how did you not see? No, that is how covert destruction works. Someone who is intent on hiding will continue hiding. And guess what? I won't hide a single thing. Now that I'm better, now that I am no longer dealing with that polypharmacy, I will speak up louder and longer than any of these other participants understand how someone could. I'm going to keep talking, and you're going to see the cost of misdiagnosis. I gotta go. I hope one day this helps someone and they don't gaslight themselves. I don't care if it's a single damn person in the universe. My name is Maria, and with gentle hugs and a lot of sighs, I'm Little Misdiagnosis.